Gaismagorm, the Dark Abyss Dragon, is the final boss of the main story of Monster Hunter Rise's expansion, Sunbreak. This building-sized elder dragon, similarly to Gogmazios, shares a skeleton with Gore Magala. However, unlike Gogmazios and Gore, this creature does not have wings and also has underdeveloped hind legs. In this sense, Gaismagorm is like a mole. He burrows through the ground using his strong forearms and his hind legs drag behind. Despite having these mole inspirations to its design, Gaismagorm is also heavily inspired by demons with the giant horns on its head and red energy that it spews during the fight, even being referred to as the Archdemon of the Abyss. Similarly to Shagaru Magala in Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, the story of Sunbreak builds up to this moment. The flagship of Sunbreak, Malzeno, is a host to the Kirio parasite, and throughout the story it spreads these parasites to the other monsters in the ecosystem. However, despite their symbiosis with Malzeno, the true host of the Kirio parasite is actually Gaismagorm. This behemoth uses the Kirio to siphon energy from other monsters that it then gives back to itself. In fact, all of Gaismagorm's energy-based attacks that we see during the fight are actually from the Kirio that it controls. It uses the energy to create these red crystals on its body, spew reddish-orange energy, and even summon swarms of Kirio to its back as protection, and some other crazy things that I will get to in a bit. During the first phase of this fight, Gaismagorm will have the previously mentioned red crystals on its body and will mainly be using melee attacks with the occasional energy-based explosive attacks. Your main goal during this phase is to break off as many of the red crystals as you possibly can, and at a certain point Gaismagorm will do this big attack where he will attempt to inhale you, but in the process will draw in those crystals that you knocked off, which will blow up in his face. Rinse and repeat this a few times and you'll get this awesome cutscene where a Dragonator rains down from the sky and plunges straight into its head. At this point, Gaismagorm will fall even deeper into the earth, and that's where the second and third phases of this fight will take place. By the way, I really like the arena for this fight. It takes place in this massive pit created by Gaismagorm with waterfalls streaming in the background, and the arena is littered with debris. While the first phase of this fight is good, the last portion of this fight is where things get real, and is definitely my favorite part of the fight. At this point, Gaismagorm no longer has any crystals on its body. Now it has this reddish-orange energy spewing out of the cracks on its body, almost resembling fur in some ways. Gaismagorm is not holding back anymore. He uses everything he's got, including tons of energy attacks, raining hellfire down from the sky and summoning a ton of reddish-orange orbs of explosive energy, almost like a bullet hell. At certain points during this phase, Gaismagorm will begin climbing the walls, and you will need to use these supply turrets to shoot the swarms of Kirio protecting the beast in order to knock it down. If you don't deal enough damage quick enough, he will fire a massive red geyser of energy out of his mouth as even more energy erupts from his back in the shape of demonic wings, before he essentially drops a miniature nuclear bomb of energy on you. This crazy set piece of an attack blew my mind when I saw it for the first time, and is easily the most memorable part of the fight for me. Towards the end of this battle, Gaismagorm will get incredibly angry and his energy burns even brighter, shifting the color of the entire arena to this hellish orange. In typical fashion for a crazy final boss monster of master rank like this, Proof of a Hero starts playing when you're close to killing the monster. Admittedly, I don't think that Sunbreak's rendition of Proof of a Hero comes anywhere close to the original version of the song and some other versions, but it still makes for an incredibly hype moment as you finish off this behemoth. When I fought Gaismagorm for the first time, I was blown away, and to this day, it's still one of my favorite final boss monsters in Monster Hunter. I really hope this guy comes back in a future game someday, but I doubt that game will be Wilds. I honestly think that Wilds would be too soon to bring Gaismagorm back, especially when there are plenty of older final boss monsters that still need to return, some of which I've discussed in some previous videos. But what do you think? Do you also think that Gaismagorm was one hell of a final boss monster? What do you like most about this fight, and how do you think it stacks up to other final boss monsters in the series? Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you guys in the next Monster Hunter Month video. Happy hunting!